Good morning. Welcome to Hindu Newspaper Analysis, 23rd December 2022. Today is National Farmers Day. According to Swaminathan, if agriculture fails, everything else will fail. In India, farming is one of the ancient practice which is considered to be civilizational practice in our society. Farmers Day is celebrated on 23rd December. It is to respect and honor farmers society in India. The day is observed to commemorate birth anniversary of Chaudhary Charan Singh, 5th Prime Minister of India. He is one of the farmers protest leader, and he protected farmers' interests during his tenure. His tenure is quite remarkable because he put forward several important legislations to support farming. He authored several books including Abolishment of Jamindari, Cooperative Farming, India's Poverty and its Solutions. Editorial talks about public sphere Vishet, and this public sphere Vishet is a statement which is raising one important issue, that is Twitter CEO who recently Elon Musk became Twitter CEO, and he took several very unaccepted reforms like massive layoffs and changing the rules and regulations of Twitter which are traditionally existed. Now, he conducted a poll. In that poll, people asked him to step down as a CEO. In fact, he respected the public opinion in the mark of cooperative governance, which include democratic cooperative governance, which is a signal for inspiring. At the same time, we need to learn one simple thing, that if people are not willing for you, definitely it is respecting people's order to step down from the respective position. So this is a very welcome move, and we have to remember this for our answer writing point of view with respect to mains in terms of writing like democratic issues and democratic governance importance. Next article talks about reshaping the world's response to the terror matrix. This article was written by M.K. Narayan, a former director of Intelligence Bureau and also a former National Security Advisor. Now, you need to understand three important points from this article. Number one, India conducted a massive global campaign against the terror program as below. One, it raised consensus in the United Nations Security Council. Two, it conducted summit of no money for terror. It's a third summit in New Delhi, and which also conducted Interpol conference in terrorism in New Delhi itself. Apart from that, in several global, multilateral and even regional forums, India raised the issue of terror attacks. To be precisely, there are several terror incidents happened throughout the globe. It began with India. 2001 we have terror attack on our parliament, and in 2008 we have multiple targets in Mumbai, and also 9/11 attacks which raised the concerns and it created a's of terrorism. Later we found Charles Hebdo offices in Paris 2015, Barbo Museum in Tunis 2015, and in Istanbul also we have several blasts. Now Paris is one of the worst affected in Europe, and also we witnessed several countries witnessed minor or major attacks. To be precisely, in Sri Lanka also we have, that is Easter Sunday attacks. Now we just discussed about different terror attacks happened in and around countries. Now what happened to terror organizations? Terror organizations became very popular because of Al-Qaeda in 1980s. After the death of its leader Osama bin Laden, we have Zarqawi, who is again the leader of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Then we have Taliban and Haqqani networks also rise in the sphere of terrorism. But no one created such huge impact like ISIS. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria which created huge impact on the global politics and created concerns also. Finally, with the global cooperation and coalition, we eliminated ISIS also. Now, what I want to convey to you is, particularly, India witnessed new different terror platforms. From Kashmir, we have several organizations. Then we also have ISIS branch called as Al-Hind. So, likewise, we are having terror issues and terror conflicts. Now, what India is doing globally? Number one, from 1980s, in fact, from 1990s onwards, we are focusing on comprehensive convention on international terrorism in a way to check terrorism globally. However, one thing is missing, that global cooperation. Recently, India's permanent representative to UN also said, countries are classifying terrorism into good terrorism and bad terrorism, which is seriously affecting the security, peace and global harmony. Other raised these concerns in their points, very valid points for our essay writing, particularly global peace, such kind of topics. Next article, should the courts close for vacation? Now, generally, you should read this article from the background of our pendency rate. Exactly in India, as per National Judiciary Data Grid, around 3.84 crores cases pending in India. Further, we need to understand that apart from these things, Law Minister in one of the press conference mentioned around 5 crores cases are pending in India. What I want to convey to you is, one of the reason is lack of judges, because Law Commission stated in one of its report, India consists only 19.66 judges per million, for 10 millions, whereas in European countries it is around 50 to 107. Now what I want to convey to you is, here the article is an interview, and here interview said that should the courts close for vacation. Now, does it correct or not? Let me put forward some interesting facts. According to Supreme Court, every court in India must work 225 days. Unfortunately, even Supreme Court works on an average only 188 days. Now, you have to understand that the Supreme Court demand is 225 days, but Supreme Court itself working around 188 days. Now, Economic Survey in one of its report in 2016-17 suggested that number of days must be raised in court court working days should be raised for efficient resolving of cases. In that background, we have this article where there is an interview among one former judge and also one advocate. You can read the interview and get the points for our answer writing. Next article, India abstains from UNSC vote on Myanmar. Now, what is first important thing is, Myanmar since 2021 was under military rule by junta, which is called as Tatmadaw. Now, this Tatmadaw is controlling the Myanmar military and controlling the public affairs and government of Myanmar. The first important point is, this was opposed by several countries, even from West countries also opposing, and they are now going for the resolution 2669, and this resolution 2669 is put forward in UN, but India abstained from it. So India abstained from it and demanding constructive diplomacy. So what is this constructive diplomacy is? That is finding the solution within the Myanmar itself, and it also requested ASEAN countries to bring the peace in the Myanmar. Next article, now concerns rise over Afghanistan because of its policy against the women. So they banned the women entry, women education institutes, colleges, and also they are imposing ban on the women employment also, which is also again a cause of concern. India's neighborhood remains volatile and uncertain, IAF chief. Now what happened recently that India and Chinese forces had a clash over Tawang Atsang village. Now India's Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chowdhury also stated that there are concerns over the borders. Government of India announces Sahitya Akademi Awards. Now Sahitya Akademi is the literary honor in India given by Sahitya Academy, and it is given for 22 languages in the 8th schedule. And plus it includes 2 extra languages, that is English and Rajasthani. Now, Dhyanpith Award, these kind of awards are given for only constitutional language, but this award is given for 24 languages. It was started in 1954 and it was established by then Prime Minister, that is our Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, Sahitya Akademi Award announced for different languages. So, you can see for English category, Anuradha Roy got this award, and different categories, names can be seen in the newspaper article itself. In the world news, Netanyahu forms new government. Israel former Prime Minister again forms the government. Please look at Israel. And in his tenure only, Israel witnessed considered to be a stable period also. And also, he is considered to be one of the longest Prime Minister in Israel. Japan, in a reverse position, in a reverse manner, it is want to revive the nuclear power plants. You know, in 2011, even I witnessed the interview of a Japan minister. He cried in the public and in the television itself, where he was unable to control the nuclear radiation in the country. Now, Japan want to bring back that nuclear policy again, which is again an interesting element we have to remember. So, Japan is now want to adopt Fukushima nuclear reactors to promote nuclear energy for the stable power supply amid of fuel shortages. You can see that fuel became shortage because of crisis, Ukraine-Russia crisis also. Now, to counter that, they adopted nuclear policy. That's all for today. Thank you so much and Jai Hind.